A prayer from Mordecai Sing That Which Is True, Rabbi Panay Revka in Novara. All who are mourning the recent loss or yahrzeit of a loved one, please rise for the mourner's Kaddish. Celebrated and revered be the Lord and her song. No matter what trial or travail the shadow of authority brings, let the Lord of song rouse our hearts. May she establish her kingdom in your lifetime and during your days, and within the life of all who hear her song, and say, Amen. Celebrated and praised, worshipped and exalted, extolled and honored, adored and lauded be the voice of the Holy One. Blessed be she beyond all blessings and hymns, praises and consolations, that are ever spoken in the shadow of authority, and say Amen. May she bring peace and love and life and prosperity for all people. May her healing song divine empower our mundane hands to action. Let our every word and deed be testimony to her voice, and all people, Matsur or Arcadian, Iliander, Tailos, smith or soldier, singer or sailor, scoundrel or senator, all people under authority's shadow, join us in our duty to repair the world. And let us say Amen. So last time on Kingdom, a bunch of stuff happened. The latest thing that had happened was there was a new offensive from the Never at the walls of the city. Mm-hmm. There was an attempt by the Legion to interrupt their offensive. I believe that ended in a failure. Is that correct?
Sure did.
While that was going on, there was a attack at the estate that took advantage of all the chaos that was comprised of anti-refugee forces spurred on by agents of the Eyes of Smoke that attacked, that fought their way in, killed Samnail, rescued Sophina, and fled with her in tow. This group has taken their name from a speech that Sophina gave afterwards, the Defenders of Hope. And when we wrapped up, Azar had given Lark instructions to kill Sophina. So the first thing that we need to figure out is that an order that we need to deal with right now?
Yeah, that's an order.
Okay.
So I think this is a fight or fix immediately?
Definitely.
All right. Let me just go to that page. What's up?
Well, I was going to say it's up to you whether it's a fight or fix because you are in charge of both the assassin and the assassin. So it's up to you.
Well, this is I think this is with Azar, technically.
Sure.
I would like a second person to be the person that I am negotiating.
Oh, I understand what you're saying now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think the fight or fix can absolutely be between you and Matthew as like the powers that are sort of facing off with one another. I was just alluding to the fact that obviously you're playing both Sophina and Lark the Reticent. So
okay,
yeah. So tell me about this fight or fix.
Okay, so in the Eyes of Smoke prediction thing. Prophecy, that's the word. In the Eyes of Smoke prophecy, there is a passage that warns Sophina that Lark is going to try and kill her. And so Lark thinks that she's got the jump on Sophina and gets jumped instead and shipped back in a body bag or something. We can get to that description later. So this is a yes, but Lark will die and Waloot will have to finish the job in her place.
So that's fine with me. If you want to
so
go ahead.
So this is basically me doing like a no but.
Sure.
And
well,
and
it's a yes, but it happens later, right? Really?
Yeah, it's a no, but I won't fight or fix when you make the order for Waloot to go instead.
I think that's, looking at the kingdom instructions, I think that's a yes if. That's like, yes, this can happen.
Okay.
If this attempt fails, you'll get it the next time.
You'll get it next time, champ.
Yeah, good hustle out there. You tried your best.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's mark -1 morale on the.
I feel like we've lost. Like at this point, everything is so higgledy-piggledy. I feel like we just need to like take a breath at the end of Kingdom and figure out where we're at.
Yeah, but so we don't have to go back and forth. I'm just going to mark it now.
Sure.
It makes sense. That would be felt pretty hard, by like everyone.
Yeah.
Nobody liked that.
Yeah, and then I can wax poetic about how you get. Oh, I was about to drag Lance over. That's the wrong character.
Not yet. We don't have to do this. If you want the answer to be
doing this.
Lark doesn't die, I'm also fine with that. And like Lark doesn't die and doesn't succeed but comes back.
Yeah, something bad could happen to Lark here.
Okay.
No.
Right. I just was misunderstanding the breathe out then.
Well, this is like a high tension thing.
Sure.
Tension's good.
Just checking in.
And just slowly dragging it over the graveyard. It's hard to wax poetic while doing another thing, so.
Gotcha.
All that comes back, I don't know how it gets there. Maybe some smug fucker shows up.
That makes sense.
Who isn't Sophina. Says, I believe this is yours. And throws it down on the ground. It's Lark's cloak that she would embroider. Tattered, bloody.
What stops us from just killing that messenger? Or capturing them, if anything?
Nothing? Sophina's been like, since her breakout, giving speeches about how y'all have like made attempts at her life previously, and now like is going to use this, is probably using this as ammo.
Sure.
Against y'all. We don't need to like, we don't have a line about like desecrating dead bodies, but like we don't have to go there.
Sure.
Is this like maybe a crew of people that show up?
Yeah. And like they know that if they die here, that's like heroic in their eyes.
Sure.
And that it's going to be more ammunition to like make the populace, the people who aren't sympathetic to the Legion, like less sympathetic even.
Sure.
So like, that's a reason, I guess.
Do they make maybe a big show of like carrying back Lark's body, almost like pallbearers carrying a casket, of just like, you know, she didn't win, but like, look at the respect we're giving this attempted assassin. You can't kill us now because that's going to look real bad.
No, I don't think you get the body back.
Oh no.
It's just the tattered cloak.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
I think we have to have shots then of like people being held back, right? Like, especially we need Waloot's reaction to this.
Yeah, that's as good a time as any to say that I think my new minor character will be Waloot. I think there's like a moment where Waloot is like on the other side of the training field. And there's people that are getting heated. There's officers that are holding people back, making it clear that like these people aren't welcome. They need to leave. But also they're trying really hard not to get legionnaires to like just draw down and start trying to fight them. And while all that is going on, Waloot, I think, is like standing by a tent, maybe even like half behind a tent. And there is like a shot. There is a shot of Lark and Waloot hiding out in the wilderness, looking at a bunch of deer, like slamming their antlers together. And Waloot's expression waiting there, waiting for the chance to take a shot and take one of them down, is exactly the same as when she looks over the Defenders of Hope.
Can we cut to Waloot, I don't know, somewhere with the cloak?
Yeah.
Where is she with it? Like, where is she with it?
I think she's on the roof of the synagogue.
Okay. The embroidery is bad. Lark was not good at it.
Uh-huh.
It's like children's amateur stuff. Gestures towards forms, but just lots of textures, really. Practice things, I guess. You know, lines or filling in and all that. But it's all... She wasn't ever given the space to be good at this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, doodles, like Kris said.
Doodles. I think there's no question in Waloot's mind about whether or not to like face Mordecai, Lark's father, and to hand over the cloak, almost like kind of folded up the way that you fold a flag when a soldier falls, to let him know.
I think Devin's up.
I think so.
All right, man. What is the overall state of things at the moment? A lot happening.
City's divided. Legionnaires are anxious, energetic. What's that word? Chomping at the bit, antsy. One of those.
Those that are left, a number of them left, or a number of them have left or are getting ready to leave the city.
Yeah.
Kael recently shell-shocked from a bit of
survived 2 violent situations.
Uh-huh.
Is not really knowing how to feel about any of this at this point, because everybody's like making plays, and it doesn't seem like any of those plays are necessarily in any direction that they deem a solution to the problems of the city.
I think that the distinction is there are, if you want to think about it in terms of the city, at least the way that I'm thinking about it, is that there are folks that are like pro, not, death and destruction in the city, who are, though that takes different forms for the different groups. And then there are folks who are like pro chaos mode, right? Pro agents of chaos. We're going to have this motherfucker burn sort of thing, which is the defenders of hope folks primarily.
Yeah. But also they probably have some sort of sense of like, duty to make the actions that were foretold come to pass.
We don't have a good view of those folks. But it's not my impression that the majority of them, Gavin, correct me if I'm wrong, the majority of them even like know what's up in the prophecies.
Yeah, I think the majority of them are just citizens of Navarra. Like regular ass citizens.
Is it like a political alignment thing then, in terms of like a senator making a call to action that they believe in?
I think a lot of them are just looking for stability and order in the face of so much happening that feels so out of their control. The Never is one thing, but it's also the Legion is here. All these refugees are here.
There's a lot of fear and anger and impotence going on too. Like, we're trapped in this wall and we want to punch something without dying.
Yeah. Well, in that case, we see Kael at their desk in their office in the archives. And I think they have called for Nikolaj to come see them.
Alrighty.
Being the person that is sort of the connection between the Legion and the Eyes of Smoke at this point, or at least has been forced to be the connection between the Legion and the Eyes of Smoke.
And is the spymaster now, yeah.
Yeah.
Go up all these damn stairs again.
Did Kaio have to carry Kael up here?
Kaio just like, would it not be faster to just have people bring you down? You're really gonna couldn't do this from the.
Does Kael maybe have like a secret basket?
What?
Like an elevator,
like an elevator basket to carry things up and down. Pulley system.
But instead of just like food, it's bringing Kael.
Not to be confused with Kale.
Right, exactly.
Then it would be bringing food.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really figured out what the nature of their wounds is. Like, they got badly burned in an explosion, but I guess that can like affect your ability to ambulate.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We have mercies, so
that's true.
I mean, yeah. What have we talked about? Like, what that process looks like to like get somebody back in like healthy condition? Like, how long it takes before somebody who is grievously injured is able to, walk on their own again?
If you're using a mercy, then it's instantaneous because the mercy just takes the wounds for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a limit to that. Like, a mercy probably doesn't want to take, like, they will heal you enough for you to be able to ambulate, and probably it's got to be stages.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, if a mercy dies trying to save somebody, that's a huge sacrifice.
Yeah. In that case, I think Kael can walk now then, but they still have a lot of like burns on the like front of their body. And I almost think it'd be cool if they had like some sort of mask that they were wearing to cover their burned face.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
That has some sort of like historic like relevance. I'm not sure that would be off the top of my head, but
I mean, my first thought is like some weird Iliander relic, because Ilianders are like part plant, and what if it's like a mask out of wood? But that wood was someone.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It could also be some sort of like cool like leaf kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about the little like Korok guys.
Yes.
From,
Korok
Wild.
the badass.
We are
But
long
not cute.
overdue for just some little guys.
Yeah, they're wearing this cool mask. Yeah, I like the idea of a holly leaf. That's a cool aesthetic. Yeah, and they want to meet with Nikolaj, who do they exasperatedly walk up the like spiral staircase through the archives?
Yeah, he'll go. I'm surprised you still hold your meetings here. It's not the most convenient place to get to. I would have thought you'd pick somewhere just looks down the spiral staircase. Easier to reach.
Well, the last 2 public places I've been in, I nearly got assassinated, so I want to make them work to get to me.
I had expected there to be more resistance at the estate, but I suppose determined enough people will get past anything. I am, as I usually am.
Speaking of determination, how are you feeling about your new post?
I have many things to read. You can imagine what that's like.
Yes, and I'm curious. Where do you stand in terms of all of this going on? Your former boss, is that the right word?
No.
What is your relationship to Sophina at this point?
I mean, at this point, God, what do Eyes of Smoke call? I mean, like she's like in charge of the Eyes of Smoke, right? She's okay. Queen Eyes of Smoke.
She's the Smoke Pope.
Yeah, the
Bad.
Smoke. I guess Nikolaj's view or stance here would be like she has read the most. It has the most information, which would, I suppose, account for recent events. You know, isn't saying Lark, but means that.
There's a close-up on the desk of whatever plant Kael has prepared for Lark's speech.
Well, you know her well, or at least have had a working relationship with her in the past. What do you think we should do about her? She seems to be amassing power and honestly exerting her detestable will on all of us.
Well, how we deal with her really does depend on whether or not the Legion stays in Novara, which increasingly looks like a terrible idea. The Never press more against the walls every day, and occasionally breach them. And from the inside, Sophina's defenders, like massive eye roll, gain sway and influence, and she will use that influence to take what has been written. But that ceases to be the Legion's problem, at least the Sophina part, if we're not here.
What about the people of the city? What about the refugees? Do we just leave them here to die? Do we drag them along with us?
Well, I haven't read about all of them. Can't give you a definitive answer, Kael. That's not how that works.
Well, I'm never quite sure whether prophecy is meant to be exact or meant to be interpreted. I'm sure Sophina is doing a fair share of interpreting.
From our interactions, what I know of what Sophina has read is that she has read that she will gain power, she will have control. But these prophecies don't lay out step by step how one is to gain that power, is to seize that control. All of the action she's taken thus far, the groups she's chosen to empower, are simply the easiest means of doing so. This anger was already in the city. It was already in the populace, and she's just given them more of a voice.
If one knows that they're going to become powerful, but it doesn't describe how you're going to get there, does she feel like she can just do whatever she wants and she'll get the result that she needs, regardless of who or what is destroyed in the process?
All she wants is to rule Novara. So long as Novara stands, it doesn't matter who stands in it. Is there no precedent for this historically? Novara's had a senate, has had emperors, has had monarchs. Surely someone else in all of time must have used these kind of ploys.
Oh, undoubtedly. It's just, history is always full of context. And I don't know if there's ever been a case where there was such a major power vacuum under an apocalyptic siege. I have made an enemy of her. Do you think... I am trying to figure out like what Kael would do in this case. Because like...
Is there like something specific you want out of this scene?
I don't really know what I want out of this scene. I just wanted to get these people on screen and talk about what was happening.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I guess I don't really need to make a decision about like what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure out like how to advance with the Sophina issue, because she's going to continue to rile up people sort of against what I'm trying to accomplish. But I don't think I can like take her on politically.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
We know that Waloot knows that she's not in the prophecies, and that maybe she would have told Lark, but it's not clear that anybody else knows. Maybe this is Kael offers to do to help with Nikolaj's reading, and they're the one who figures out, oh, Waloot's not in the prophecies. That's a blind spot for her.
Yeah. I like that. Well, Spymaster, you mentioned you have a lot of reading to do. If you ever need a second pair of eyes on some of this information gathering, I'm a pretty fast reader. Or is that blasphemous to the eyes of smoke?
Many within the eyes read things they're not meant to anyway. But I keep those materials in the Spymaster tent at the estate. Just like blinks a couple times and then turns around and starts going down the stairs.
Kael, is there an expression of how the kingdom feels right this second?
I don't think so at the moment.
Okay.
I don't think anything has changed.
Gavin, reaction.
I think we have at the ruins of the Senate, we have Sophina at a like hastily cobbled together podium announcing the move to special emergency election.
Oh, Lord.
Of the surviving senators, the head, something like poor, what was Wygraff's title?
Speaker.
Yeah, Speaker Wygraff, may he rest in peace, has left a gap in our system that we need to fill immediately. I move to hold an emergency election to replace him.
Great.
I wonder if I've been like acting as sort of an interim senator.
You're definitely like representative of the Legion in the Senate.
Yeah.
I don't think like that gives you senator status because you weren't like democratically elected, but like they have like special experts come to like the real US Senate all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We talked about it as Sophina was granted a senatorship. Do we think that was just that the Eyes of Smoke got a senator and then she was quote unquote elected as the Eyes of Smoke senator? Or do we think that like she just got handed a seat?
I think she was given like an honorary title and then she went, oh no, I'm an actual one of those now. And just started acting like it. And has just been acting like it for 10 years. And so it works that way.
All right.
I think like that may have been a startup event. Like there was an election somewhere that legitimized it.
Sure. But there was
quote unquote legitimized.
Yeah, there was no question that she was going to continue doing it. Also, it probably wasn't 10 years ago. She's not that old.
A 12-year-old senator.
Yeah. Kris, reaction.
I think it's Dorado, like, going to check in on Thar with the refugees and kind of, like, see how training is going there. She's in charge of training for the Legion, so it's just like, all right, show me what you got. How's it going? Because these people are going to get attacked. Like, it sounds like it's going to happen.
100%.
Yeah.
Matthew, reaction.
I I think I just want to have this be the funeral for Lark. So it's the standard thing Gavin was gesturing at that we've seen before. Kael presiding when they get down to the bottom of their tower again, right? Big fire, bonfire in the center of the estate. Kael says some words, but we don't need those words. I'm not going to make Devin do a speech. Drops.
I mean,
go ahead.
Are we honoring Samnail too?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think this is, everybody we just lost in that attack. There's probably some unnamed soldiers as well. Or not soldiers, but rookies. You know what I mean? And I think Azar is there. And just has his one eye closed the whole time, standing very straight. Those who know him well know that he is holding back tears, but very few people know him that well here. And I think afterwards he goes up and talks with Kael, and there's a conversation that we don't hear. Brendan.
We see Senator Vahn listening to Sophina calling for these elections and just sort of doing like 1,000-yard stare, trying to figure out like what he can do if there is anything that he can do, and coming up empty. Devin, check crisis or crossroads.
I mean, things are moving. I'm going to check crossroads.
Okay. We're at 2 out of 6 for crossroads and 3 out of 6 for crisis. It is Gavin's turn.
Did you have a thought about who your new miner was?
Oh yeah, it's Marshall for now.
Okay, cool. I just didn't know if we'd said that aloud yet.
I don't think so.
Oh no. Okay, my new miner is Marshall.
Thank you.
So in Judaism, there are 4 New Year celebrations, celebrating like different new things. So there's Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish calendar New Year. There's Earth's birthday, which I think was like a month ago, actually.
Happy belated.
Basically when God created the earth. There's one I don't remember. And then there's Simchas Torah. And Simchas Torah is when we get to the end of the Torah and we all get together and celebrate that we spent a whole year reading the Torah and roll it all the way back to the beginning again. So I think this is how Christians do it too. You read like a passage a week, and then like the priest will like spiel about that passage. So like it's the same thing in Judaism. Mm-hmm. And there are some fun rituals about it that I really like. It's a very minor holiday. It's the last of the high holidays. And one of the things you do is you all gather together in the sanctuary and you take out all of the Torahs, all of the other scrolls that are related to Haftorahs, etc. The kids get like little plushies because even the Haftorahs are too heavy for them and like expensive and delicate. And you all dance together around the pews in a circle, each taking turns carrying one of these items. And the Torah is like a stand-in. Stand-in sounds like it's false, but this is like real. Like this is like Eucharist level things. It is God. Like when you're holding the Torah, you are holding God. Like we bury them when they are too old and worn out to use, like in graves. So I think this scene is Waloot. This is probably after Waloot has told. Did Waloot decide to tell Mordecai, or did we just?
No.
Okay.
I said we didn't see that scene, but yeah, there was no question in her mind. Like she spent some time with it, but then she folded it up, found Mordecai when he was by himself, presented it to him, and told him what happened.
Yeah. So, Waloot is here for the celebration. They have the one second song, and I'm imagining like they have a line down the middle, and a person will like take it and like walk around like one pew and then hand it to the next person to dance around the pew until everyone's held it, so that everyone has that chance. And maybe Waloot is like sitting in the back like she usually does.
Mm-hmm.
And Mordecai takes it to her directly.
I think she takes it gingerly, like a person who's never held a baby before being asked if they want to hold the baby.
It's heavy. It's 100 feet of sheepskin, and like the cover is heavy. The wood is like, what's a heavy wood? Like an oak?
Sure.
Yeah. It's like holding a person.
I think Waloot does her best to like dance in the way that she's seen it performed while she's been here, and tries really hard not to like look over at Mordecai in order to see if he's like nodding in approval or has a bad expression on his face that lets her know that she's doing it wrong. She's just like almost staring at the ground, but throwing herself into it.
And they're singing, and he's singing. Everyone's singing, like they welcome you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's the scene.
Do folks have reactions from that one? Kris?
No, I don't think so.
Matthew?
I'm wondering if Waloot goes to Azar or if somebody else goes to Azar first. Because I could see, this is not really my reaction, but Brennan, you're controlling Waloot as a minor character. If you think after this, Waloot would go to Azar and say, like, I want revenge, basically. Or just go visit Azar, and we don't have to see what that conversation is.
Yeah, that was going to be my reaction, I think.
Then never mind. I don't have anything. I don't have any reaction.
I think here's what I think it is that like when Waloot comes back, she sees Azar by himself by the fire,
mm-hmm.
and their eyes meet for a moment in understanding. And I don't think she goes over to talk right now, but they both get the message.
Yeah.
Devin, reaction.
I think we see Kael at the estate reading through prophecy.
Excellent.
And, reading some curious stuff.
Yeah. Gavin, mark crisis or crossroads?
I guess I forgot to make a prediction.
You can do that now.
I think if yes,
That is, yes, if the Legion overthrows the Senate in Azar's name.
yes, if the Legion overthrows the Senate in Azar's name, a lot of civilians will die.
Mhm.
Like, during and aftermath. And I'm going to take Crisis.
Okay. Kris.
Yup. So like, is everyone in the Legion aware of this coup? Aware of this plan?
Nope.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was my, because I'm like, I don't know that Dorado knows, because I can't imagine that she would have gone along with this for this long. That doesn't seem likely.
I think of the people who would either figure it out or be told by, Legionnaires. Because, like, Azar's Legion understands, like, this is what they're for. This was the plan, right?
Argyle's probably got an idea.
The old upper staff definitely did, right? If we think about this timeline-wise, Azar was putting together a group of basically Azar loyalists prior to the Plains of Celebration, right?
Right.
Oh,
And then a whole bunch of them died.
Yeah.
During the Plains of Celebration, right? Because the only ones that are still around of the old ones are Marshall and Azar. Kael and Cravander are both new, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is
so
Kael new?
Kael is new.
Kael came with the Iliander expeditionary force that came from the islands to fight the Never.
Right. Okay.
There's always been a little bit of tension, at least, between Kael and Azar. I think that the scene that we had of Azar like revealing things to Kaio, right? Was one of what's probably happening with like individual soldiers and above throughout the Legion that Azar feels he can trust to at least not turn on him.
Yeah, like with Lance.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So if there is one person who would tell Dorado, it could be Kaio.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, could be Kaio, could be Argyle. Because, like Devin said, Argyle's probably got, like, if Argyle especially is spending a bunch of time with, or around, Nikolaj, there we go. Then, they probably would have picked that up by now.
I want to push back.
Argyle always has a good idea of who's meeting who.
Yeah, I want to push back a little bit on Argyle knowing exactly what's up.
Yeah,
because
not exactly, but like
I think he could definitely suspect for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not like, oh hey, did you know about this? Let me tell you about this coup, but more of just like this Legion is less one entity than people had said. Because then I wonder if this scene is just like Dorado trying to get like a solid answer out of someone. That just get confirmation from someone, but like she goes to Azar about it, and like what stops Azar from just killing her then? Like it's trying to get a confirmation about this without tipping like I know what's happening, because like has no assurance that won't get her killed.
I mean, the thing is, like, Dorado going to Azar and saying, "Hey, I think you're trying to overthrow the Senate. Is that true?" is a very good scene.
It is real fun of just being like, all right, what are you up to?
And to be clear, like, Dorado has, at least in terms of like the mechanical power of the game, Dorado has exactly the same amount of power as Azar does.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Okay. Dorado's just gonna go and confront Azar then. Where are places? Yeah, I know. The estate and the Senate. Oh boy, neither of those.
Meet at the synagogue. Meet at a hallowed grounds.
We could.
Oh, what if the tyrant sepulcher?
Yeah, I was going to say. I think they got added to the cairn, like Samnail at least, because we had the Zerbati, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Probably has is confident that like Azar won't kill someone here. Like he's not gonna do anything fucked up here.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not gonna kill Dorado. That's me, Matthew, speaking.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Not that I could. Dorado would kill me instantly. I'd look at Dorado and I'd be dead.
So yeah, like, is Azar already there when Dorado shows up, or
Definitely.
does Dorado say like, "Hey, meet me at the..." Yeah, okay. It's just sort of like looking at the new additions to the cairn.
Mm-hmm.
Dorado like walks up, stands next to Azar.
I think he's kneeling.
Okay.
There was the little bit of him sort of lying about putting in a little like place to kneel or pray, to like mask what they were talking about before in the last scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he really did have that put in.
Yeah.
And he really is praying.
When you're bad faithing so hard, it becomes good faith.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Dorado goes and like, stands enough back that it's like that she's not crowding Azar. And then when he seems to be done, I guess like stands up or something. She's like right there and it's just like, "What's your game, Azar? What are you doing?"
I was praying.
Long term in Novara, what are you doing with the Senate?
Azar stares unblinking at Dorado for a moment and then lowers his head. And he says, "Honestly, Adamant, I do not know."
When you did know, what did you think you were doing?
Keeping the Legion safe. Keeping Navarro safe.
Huh. Because it looks like a coup. From where I'm standing. That's your idea of safety?
Dorado, do you feel now, having been at the walls, that this city will last?
Not long.
I agree. But if the Legion, if our Legion, took command of the city's defenses, I believe we could last through the winter until the rotted corpses of the Never begin to fall.
just has to take a minute. So your plan was just to wait them out. The Never that are throwing on fire things, destroying buildings, bombing the Senate. Your plan was just to wait until they got bored, died off. Who knows how long that might take? What? And now you've got Sophina with her.
You see why I'm no longer sure.
But are you still moving forward with it? Because people around the camp seem to be acting like they are. And again, it only seems like so many people know. So what if you'd only had, half of the Legion who actually knew what the hell you were planning to do? You think you can control this city full of the people in it with half a Legion and some city guards?
Dorado, he looks up now. The plan was to take command of the city without bloodshed through a legitimate vote in the Senate. You laugh, I understand. Again, I have given no orders since the one that got Lark killed.
You said yourself you don't think the city's going to make it. Is it still your plan to try to take over Novara?
When you first asked me that question, what is going on, I told you I was praying. That's the answer, truly. I have been thinking and speaking in the silence to whatever gods might still be listening. I don't have an answer that will satisfy you. If you decide to kill me because you think that it will lead to fewer deaths, he spreads his arms wide. I would not hold that against you.
Damn. Man, that was just a lot of information. I feel like he needs time to think on that. Might just, like, leave with a, like, I'm not gonna kill you here and now, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna kill you.
OATHSWORN is an actual play podcast created by
Devin Nelson,
Gavin Fregeau,
Kris Allison,
Matthew Guzdial,
and me, Brennan McLeod. All music for the show is created by Devin Nelson. Find it and more at devindecibel.bandcamp.com. Find a link to their music and any of the games that we have played in the podcast description. Follow us at OATHSWORN Pod on Twitter or OATHSWORN on co-host. If you like the show, please consider sharing it with a friend or leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Until next time.